I've been using this for a while now, so I figured I would share some thoughts. If you live in a smaller apartment, if you host friends or family once in a while, or if you just want one piece of furniture to handle both sitting and sleeping without taking over the whole room, this is basically who this is for. I bought it for a space where every piece of furniture has to earn its spot, and I wanted something that could be a normal couch most days, then turn into a real sleeping surface when I needed it. What makes it different, at least in my day-to-day life, is how practical it is. It is not trying to be fancy. It is trying to solve two problems: seating during the day, sleeping at night. And it also sneaks in storage, which ends up mattering more than I expected. In my room, it looks modern in a simple way. It sits a little lower than some traditional sofas, and that changes the vibe of the whole space. At first I noticed that right away because I am used to couches that feel taller, where you sort of drop into them and your knees are higher. With this one, the lower height makes the room feel a bit more open visually, but it also means if you are taller or if you have knee issues, you might want to try it before committing. For me, it has been fine. I got used to it within a few days and now it just feels normal. The fabric and cushions feel firm, not uncomfortable, just supportive. When I sit down to work on a laptop or watch a long movie, it does not collapse under me. The seat keeps its shape. The trade-off is that if you want that soft, sink-in feeling, this is not really that kind of couch. I would describe it as the kind of firmness that makes sense when you remember it is also supposed to be a bed. Build quality has been solid in my use. Nothing feels wobbly when I move around on it. The frame has handled daily sitting, occasional naps, and people coming over and using it as a bed. I do not baby it, and it has held up. I have had to tighten hardware once after a period of regular use, which I honestly expect with furniture like this. After that, it stayed quiet again. Setup took some time and some patience. It was not complicated in a technical way, but it is big and awkward, and you need space to lay things out. I did it in my living room and had to shift my rug and coffee table out of the way. If you are doing it alone, you can. But it is a lot easier with another person when you are lining things up and flipping pieces around. Once it is built, though, day-to-day use is simple. The bed conversion is the part I use most for real-life situations. When someone stays over, I pull it out and it becomes a flat sleeping area. The motion is pretty straightforward. You pull the undersection forward and it extends into place. I will say, the first few times I did it, I was a little cautious because I did not want to force anything. After you do it a couple times, you learn the feel of it and it becomes routine. One small thing I ran into, and I still deal with it sometimes, is that it can catch on a rug depending on the rug thickness and how the rug grips the floor. In my place, if the rug is slightly too close, the front section drags and it makes the pull-out less smooth. It is not a deal breaker. It is just one of those real apartment problems where you end up adjusting furniture by an inch or two to make everything work together. Once I positioned the rug differently, it stopped being an issue. As a bed, it is more comfortable than I expected for something that is primarily a sofa. I have slept on it myself when I was sick and wanted to stay in the living room, and I have also had guests sleep on it. The surface is firm and even. If you are used to a plush mattress, you will probably want to add a topper or at least a thicker blanket underneath you. But for a pull-out bed that lives inside a couch, I think it does the job. I have not had complaints from guests, and I am the type of person who would hear about it if it was miserable. The storage under the Chaise is the feature I did not think I would care about, but now I use it constantly. I keep extra sheets, a spare blanket, and a couple pillows in there. In a smaller home, that storage means I do not have to dedicate closet space to bedding that is only used occasionally. The lid is easy enough to lift, and it stays open while you move things around, which sounds minor but matters when you are trying to grab bedding quickly before someone goes to sleep. Daily comfort has been consistent. The cushions stay supportive, and the seating area is wide enough that I can sit with my legs up sometimes without feeling cramped. If you have multiple people sitting on it, it works, but I think it is most comfortable for 1 or 2 people lounging. When you start packing it with 3 adults for a long time, it feels more like practical seating than a place you want to hang out for hours. Cleaning has been manageable. I have dealt with regular dust, a couple small spills, and general wear. I vacuum it and spot clean as needed. It has not been a stressful couch to own. If you have pets, the fabric can still pick up hair depending on the color, but it has not been a magnet for it in my experience. More like normal fabric furniture. I keep a lint roller around and it is fine. There are some limitations I would point out. The firmness is not for everyone, especially if you want a couch that feels like a soft cloud. The lower seating height might not be comfortable for every body type. The pull-out mechanism is simple, but you need enough space in front of the sofa to extend it. So, in a very tight room layout, you have to plan around that. And if your floors are delicate, you will want to be mindful of how it moves, especially if you are pulling it out often. Something else I should address, because people ask about it with products in general, is smart features and mobile app support. There are none here. This is furniture. There is nothing to connect to your phone, nothing to update, and nothing to troubleshoot. Personally, I like that. The closest thing to a feature is that it converts and it stores things, and that is all mechanical. Overall, my experience has been that the IKEA Friheten Sofa Bed is a practical piece of furniture that makes sense when you need flexibility. It has worked for my space, it has held up to regular use, and it has saved me when I needed an extra bed without having a dedicated guest room. It is not perfect, but it is dependable once you understand what it is and what it is not. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the IKEA Friheten Sofa Bed. Thank you for watching.